listening to a Sin Media podcast,
where young people run the show.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ignorance Is This, a podcast all about a different way of experiencing cinema. My name is Scott Martin, and the man who is ought to be congratulated is with me today.
Thank me. Are you congratulating me? Thanking me?
Congratulations, Ollie.
Thank you.
Because you're here today, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oliver
I'm here in the room.
Yep.
And that's why, when we speak, you can actually hear us overlap and understand each other at the same time.
Yeah, and we don't have to cut 30 seconds of both of us going, and that's why you go. No, you go.
No, you go. Mine wasn't that important.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there might still be a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Guys, if the episode sounds weird today, that's because we're in person and Oliver forgot his microphone. Because we didn't think we were going to be doing this, did we? This was a last-minute decision.
Yeah.
This came when I was driving to work, and I just happened to see you driving the opposite way. And I was like, don't you lie about being in my small town. I know everybody in here. I know this place inside out.
There are only two people that live here.
Exactly.
It's me and you.
So, we're in my place. We've got one microphone. We put it in the middle of the table, and we're going to be discussing the new Jurassic World.
Sharing microphones like a bowl of chips. We're reaching for the bowl and the microphone at the same time, which is why sometimes it gets awkward when we both speak at the same time. And then you...
It is the equivalent of me accidentally touching your hand while you're in the chip bowl, isn't it?
It is. Because we have to look at each other and think, now who needs to speak more importantly?
Yeah, exactly.
And then sometimes we both speak, which is a subtle sign of saying, I am more important. And we're both saying that to each other, and then we think, no.
At least in the weeks past, it was like, I'm just going to keep talking, and then he'll know that he's not allowed to speak. Yeah. We can't do that now, can we?
No, because that would actually be a rude social sort of little faux pas.
And before we start doing that, we need to talk about the new Jurassic Park movie.
Jurassic World movie.
Jurassic World Fallen
Do these have
Kingdom
an association
Hearts.
to the Jurassic Park movies?
I think in the way that there is a lead male actor and there's also a lead female actor.
That wasn't the situation in the first films. It was two lead males.
No, it wasn't. There was Jeff Goldblum.
And Sam Neill.
Yeah, and Sam Neill. And also there was the lead girl, the lady.
How come we don't know her celebrity name?
She was in something only actually very recently. Jurassic... I'm looking up right now.
I know, it's Bryce Dallas and...
Dallas Buyers Club, yes, you're right. Yeah, that's where she was from. Bryce Dallas is from this one.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Bryce
I'm
Dallas
talking
is
about
from
the
this
old
one,
school
and
one.
Chris Pratt, they're the leads.
Who?
Chris Pratt?
Who?
The Pratt himself.
Oh, the great Pratt, the great man. Laura Dern. That's right, and she was in Star Wars recently. She was the one with the cool haircut.
Oh yes, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. You mean by purple and not cool?
I thought she was cool, and I think that movie's great.
Okay.
So, whatever.
We all have our opinions settled down.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah.
I shared the post of the solo episode a couple weeks ago onto the socials.
Okay.
And got some feedback regarding my rating system.
Really?
Do you remember when you said absolutely berate Scott if he has a bad rating system?
People have actually responded.
That's right.
So you listed the Star Wars films. I asked you to rank them in order of what you like best to least, with excluding the prequels.
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
I got a message from a reply from Matt. Matt said, "Better than Rogue One, it's a big call." Regarding Solo. And I said, I stand by it. And then Matt said, "You're allowed to be wrong." And then a week later, Thomas replied, "One of the reasons being the characters in Solo are more fleshed out than Rogue One. Did you really watch Solo?"
That was a diss against me, it seems.
That's it. I think it was because Solo's characters were not fleshed out compared to... Well, they were both equally not fleshed out.
I'd love to have an argument with that person. Anyway,
Thomas.
we're not here to do...
Thomas, this is an open call, similar to the Jack situation of last week from Twitter. Fight us, IRL. We'll take you on.
Yeah, that's quite funny that I've asked people to attack you, and they have.
Yeah,
because internet people love attacking you.
That's more engagement than we've had in the past, so...
We just need to make controversial statements.
Yeah, that's right. Well, here's my controversial statement for the week.
Yeah.
I didn't think that Jurassic Park was that good.
I happen to think that that's not a controversial statement.
Do you agree? Do you agree? Is that right?
Do you know what? I didn't think it was... It's not like it's the worst movie I've ever seen. It's just forgettable.
It tiptoes that line of the worst movie I've ever seen, though, doesn't it?
Really?
It's just... There were so many moments when... Because this was a great time when you and I actually got to see the movie together.
Yeah.
Which hasn't been the case for, like, 5 months now.
Yeah.
And, God, I couldn't shut my mouth. Every single time there was something that made me roll my eyes, I would, like, lean over to you and be like, well, that really bloody made me roll my eyes, didn't it?
Yeah, that happened quite a few times, especially during the early parts, I think. The early part of the film was just forgettable. It was kind of like saying, hey, it's the first movie again, Jurassic World, except there's no tourists here now. It's just dinosaurs who have taken over the island, surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
And we need to get them out of here. It kind of seems like that's the most boring part, or that's like the minimum a Jurassic Park movie has to be, is that there are dinosaurs in a landscape.
That's right.
And the interesting thing about the first one was that there were people walking through a park in this landscape and interacting with dinosaurs.
Which has literally never been seen before.
Yes.
In terms of...
It's an amusement park with real dinosaurs.
Yeah. And your mind goes, imagine if there's a real amusement park. All of that magic is lost in this because it's all just a raptor running very fast and characters kind of reacting to it. It doesn't have that magic anymore. They need to do something more interesting with the future of it, which we'll get to at the end, but I think that the future of this could be interesting.
Yeah.
But this middling of the trilogy, if they're going to do a trilogy, is, in my opinion, just as bland as the first one, which I also, now in retrospect, I also didn't really care for that much.
Yeah, no, the first one was fine, you know. It was fine.
What do you remember about that movie?
I remember they were in a ball.
Yes, there was a ball.
There were kids winning a ball.
There was Chris Pratt sometimes being funny.
Yeah.
And there was
He had Coca-Cola often in his hand.
Yes, there was some weird sponsorship deals happening. I'm not sure if I'm thinking about Man of Steel or Jurassic World. There was a shirtless scene in a park where the character's like, hey, you didn't think I was this ripped, but I actually am this ripped.
Yeah.
That might be Man of Steel. But yeah, that's basically all I can remember.
I think the first one kind of interesting because they were introducing the Indominus Rex, which was like this, esteemed dinosaur, and they had a hard time finding it even when it was in its enclosure.
And it was massive as well,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like, how can you miss this thing? And then it's like, well, that's why it's interesting, because it's so big, and we're still missing it.
Exactly. In this one, they try to do the same thing with something called an Indosaurus, which I don't think had any lasting effect.
I don't think there was much...
What did it do?
I don't think there was much stealth, Well, the whole point of the Indoraptor Rex was that it was the Indominus Rex mixed with like 60% more raptor DNA.
Yeah.
Because raptors are proved to be able to command...
Yeah, they can listen to instructions.
Commanded by humans, as of Owen, who is Chris Pratt.
Yes.
So that was the point. It was like, hey, this is military now. We can militarize this, which has been the last 4 fucking movies, I swear to God.
I was gonna say, in any movie where they just like, hey, let's militarize the thing.
Yeah.
It's so boring.
I know.
and also just to, like, the first half of the movie where they just made the military leader the bad guy. It's just like, we've seen that so many times before. And he's powerful not because he has any merit of his own, but because he commands soldiers.
Yeah.
He has no other lasting power other than that.
Hollywood needs to find another way to make military personnel interesting.
Yeah.
Because the whole point is we're just gonna make this a weapon, which is like I can't even structure
because you can
it's so boring.
You can take that, you can apply that sort of conflict to any sort of idea. Like let's say, hey, I want to do a ghost film, and then Hollywood's like, all right, we'll do your ghost film, but you don't really have a villain, so let's suggest that the military want to villainize the ghost. So want to militarize the ghost.
Here's the thing: the ghost can go through walls.
Oh,
now imagine
if that was in Iraq.
Imagine something going through walls in Iraq.
Yeah. We just need to learn how to control it, And by the way, maybe the main character of this ghost film can control the ghost.
Yeah, and maybe
conflict.
maybe there's some kind of interpersonal relationship happening between the ghost and the main character, the very handsome main character.
Yeah.
There's always got to be that one connection there. So, did you care? I still will say that away from that military point of view, I liked Blue. I like the
Yeah?
raptor.
Okay.
You know, like it was. I do like the idea of there being a good dinosaur that isn't from Disney.
A Pixar film. The Good Dinosaur.
A good dinosaur that is on the side without it being like,
Right.
you know, like behind the main character, like having his arms up, like stick 'em up, boys. I'll fight you all. You know, like
Yeah.
just kind of like comes in when need be. I like that, and I like the design of Blue. Spoilers for Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Spoilers. Here it comes. I was fully expecting Blue to die.
Right.
From trailer 1 6
Okay.
months ago.
Yeah.
Because the whole point was Blue is still alive. Don't talk to me about that. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh, Blue's gonna die. No, that's not the case.
I think the only emotional attachment I had to a dinosaur was the Brachiosaurus.
That was legitimately heartbreaking.
That was very sad.
And I thought that it was gonna cut to Chris Pratt like having a cry, like just going away on the boat. I thought there was going to be like a single tear, but that didn't happen.
Yeah, so as they're fleeing the island, they're fleeing the island because a volcano has exploded, which, by the way, isn't foreshadowed. We'll get to that. The volcano explodes, and they're trying to get all the dinosaurs off the island. And as they're leaving on the boat, they see that a Brachiosaurus, by himself, is there on the jetty. And he's sad because the lava is about to engulf him, which is very sad.
Yeah, and it's
Poor Brachiosaurus.
It's also more sad when you realize that there are probably 8 of them more that have already been died.
Yeah,
It's just a way.
Yeah, like a lot of dinosaurs would have died.
I liked the idea of we need to rescue some dinosaurs off the park, off
Yeah.
the world, and then take them somewhere else.
I didn't mind that.
And the way that the first trailer, the trailer that came from 6 months ago,
Yes.
that was the first look, and it seemed to be very focused on, hey, we're doing a rescue mission. We've got
Yeah.
11 species to get through. Let's go. And it takes about 7 or 8 minutes on that island from them.
Oh, the whole first act, I'd say. Yeah, they're rescuing the dinosaurs.
I felt like it was a lot shorter than that, of them
Right.
just going, all right, we're here. Well, I'm talking like 7 minutes of hopeful
Yeah.
rescuing.
Yeah.
And then on the island, the first act, yes.
Oh, right, yeah.
But, like, I want more of the...
Yeah, like...
I just don't care for weaponizing dinosaurs. I want to see cool stories featuring the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Like, how can we come up with creative ways to find these dinosaurs and get them off the island? And like we said before, the lava...
There was a moment
What
that
the
we
hell?
both absolutely lost it in
Yeah.
the cinema.
Because, like, you get to the island and you... Like, there's a volcano on the island. You always see it. Out of nowhere,
and the
it just
little
erupts.
the little nerd guy is like, "Oh my god, it's so hot!" And then it cuts to Chris Pratt. And he looks up at the volcano. And is like, "It's about to get a whole lot hotter." God damn it!
I was about to say, like, you can't write that. That's how bad it is. But you can write that because it's so cliche.
Yes, exactly.
And yeah, so there was a point where he's on the ground because he's about to be pinned by a triceratops. He's about to like smash him down, but it doesn't. It like flees.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Damn, problem avoided." He turns his head. Lava is about a meter away.
How do you
Where
not
did the
notice?
lava come from?
And how do you not get the hot
The
feelings?
whole
before-
area would have been brighter. What the hell? There would have been a noise.
There was a lot of weird editing in this.
Yeah,
I think.
in that whole section there was all this breaking of continuity, and I know a little bit about editing theory that says you don't have to focus on continuity. Like, a lot of the times audiences just won't notice it.
Yeah.
In this, like, you could notice it.
There
notice the continuity errors.
There was a really long action set piece that I actually really liked of when Dallas, Bryce Dallas Howard was in that big spherical ball,
Yeah.
and sinking, and Chris Pratt is like trying to like get the door open, right? And then they get up and they're like, "Oh my god, I can breathe!" And then the next shot is of them like looking over a mountaintop with like binoculars, like looking down at the poachers.
Right.
When did you get there? Like,
Yeah.
and I'm not talking like. There's like 2 seconds of a black screen between them. It is like just the next shot. Like, it was so
right.
jarring.
There's no like breathe moment for it to transition with
Yeah.
any music. Like,
But
I
they lift up, they beach themselves, then they're on top of a hill.
yeah, I don't know if, like, you never know if it's an editor's problem or if it's a studio's problem saying
Yeah.
get rid of some time and then they have to find time to cut, which I assume is probably what happened.
Most likely, yes.
But yeah, that first trailer, I actually liked the first trailer.
Me
there were
too.
some parts about it, you know, it opens with a cool song and you're like, okay, cool. You're getting you're saying what the kind of the premise is. You're showing a little bit of the park and stuff. And I thought that is so good that they didn't show that second act. That is amazing that they didn't show that second act.
Imagine.
Because it's almost like you could convince an audience that the whole film would take place on an island. And then when they go to watch the movie, I was like, oh, surprise, surprise. In the second half, they actually go back to the United States for some dinosaurs and they at an estate and they try selling the dinosaurs and blah, blah, blah. And you think, wow, what good marketing.
Then what happens?
Then the second trailer comes out.
4 months later.
4 months later.
2 months before the release.
Okay. And this is like, I wonder if they were saying, hey, we don't have enough hype for this movie. Let's show more stuff. And they showed all the stuff.
So what they showed was, hey, did you know that Chris Pratt and Blue best friends?
Right.
Hey,
they show that. Yep.
Did you know Blue, last of the species? Got to get it out of there. It's intelligent. Hey, it's me, Chris Pratt. Please, Blue, why don't we become friends? Shot to the neck, cuts down, shot to the stomach. Yeah. And then a shot of the Blue being like towed away on a helicopter.
So you're seeing like the whole inciting incident of why the second half acts
literally the entire
happens.
first act.
Yeah, you're seeing so that's completely mute, and then they make the whole second act nearly completely null and void as well by saying, okay, we're selling off dinosaurs. This is an auction. We're selling to rich people around the world.
Here's Toby Jones.
And also, I'm pretty sure like they show clips of saying like, hey, we're going to need to live alongside dinosaurs now. Like, dinosaurs are in the wild.
Oh, yeah.
Which is sequel bait for the next movie. That's what that is.
That is because it's Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
If there was Sam Neill in this film, I would want to go see it. Because I like the first Jurassic Park movie a lot. So to see, oh my god, they actually got, like, the big star, the big breakout, the cool one to come in here. This guy got the easiest paycheck in Hollywood history.
Yeah.
Having Jeff Goldblum in there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He didn't have to shave. He didn't have to put makeup on. Sit him in the seat, say 6 lines, and I just mean 6 sentences. Also, it's all voiceover, so you don't have to act.
Yeah.
4 of those lines are in the trailer, I swear to God.
I mean, yes, they are. To be fair, I think he is acting, but also he's himself. Like, he says lines very strangely, but he is Jeff Goldblum.
I don't know if the cast list in the credits is listed this way, but on Google, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Jeff Goldblum.
I don't doubt that at all, because I knew he was in the movie.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to someone, I guarantee he's in it for 5 minutes.
Not even
5 minutes.
Absolutely not.
I think we missed the first 5 minutes of the film. I think he might have been in the start. I think they might have opened the movie with him in court. I think
it was jarring.
Because when we saw him again, there was no like reveal, and that's why I think we definitely saw him at the start of the film, which we didn't actually see. We missed that. But yeah, like I'm pretty sure I said to someone like he will be in this for so short of a period of time because. You know, they did that with, Blade Runner with Harrison Ford. Like, I mean, at least Harrison Ford was used.
Not true.
Harrison Ford was used.
Harrison Ford was in a lot more of that than I was expecting him to.
Yeah, he was.
I don't think that's a great example because...
Actually, no, it's not. It's the fact that they actually shouldn't have shown Harrison Ford in the marketing at all.
That's right.
Because he was a surprise at the end.
Imagine if a small Harry Potter is, for whatever reason, in the next Fantastic Beasts movie.
Right.
You know, like...
If they say Daniel Radcliffe's in it.
Imagine the surprise.
Yeah.
You know, like Jeff Goldblum, that is on that level for people of the fans of the Jurassic Park series.
Yeah. And the other example was, like Channing Tatum in maybe Kingsman. They said Channing Tatum was going to be a big part and he wasn't. But that wasn't necessarily the film's fault. That was scheduling or something like that.
No. That was editing. They wanted to...
No, scheduling. He had another film and they had to cut him.
Oh, but they had already cast him and done some.
Yeah, they'd already cast him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't listen to the show that we do. We talked about that in detail. I thought that he filmed like heaps and then they had to cut it all for whatever reason. I don't know.
I don't know. There was another film recently where there was some actor supposed to be... Oh, that's right. It was Pirates of the Caribbean, the new one, where they said Orlando Bloom's back. And he was in the start, never in it again until the end. It's so small.
And it was all like, ooh, his son is here. That counts, right?
Yeah.
No.
And, like, the whole marketing was, he's back, guys. Like, seriously, you can take it seriously again. Like, forget that other movie even happened. He's back. This is original Pirates.
Man.
And it's like, what?
That's a That's a callback. That was episode 7 of
Yeah.
our show. 7 weeks into this little pod.
But yeah, the trailers were absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
I
Well,
was-
like,
yeah.
the first one, I will say, and you agree,
Yeah.
it got us hype.
Yeah.
I watched it 6 months ago when it first came out, because I liked the first movie to the point where I was like, I like Chris Pratt, and I like Claire.
Yeah.
You know, I love dinosaurs. I legitimately have like a fascination with dinosaurs. I think fascinating and cool. Show us what 2018 dinosaur CGI is going to look like. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
6 months ago that trailer dropped. Awesome. 4 months ago, 2 months ago, the final trailer came out and it just spoiled the entire movie. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, cool.
You can kind of tell. I bet you could have told back then when you saw it, like, I bet this is a lot of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, they showed that shot of
no.
the Indoraptor on top of the house in front of the moon. And I thought, that's like the final bit.
Yeah, and they had like one of the coolest shots in the film was the little claw coming down and like lifting up the windowsill.
Yeah.
You know, like very
Yes,
horror
yes,
movie-ish.
They do.
And I was like, oh, well, that's a shame.
It's very true. Now, often I have like some big preconception about the film. My one for this was, because I had no clue of the plot, the only thing I knew was it was called Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And I thought, and also because I've heard, like when I was in the cinema, I could hear things that would happen, like, in the trailer. Even though I didn't see the trailer, like, I'd hear people saying, like,
Oh.
the dinosaurs are loose or whatever. I don't know.
You mean when you like would cover your ears?
Yeah. I can hear what's being said sometimes.
Yeah.
So, and what I had pieced together was that, now I was kind of relaying it back to, I don't know, you haven't really seen the Planet of the Apes series, but it's kind of like the first movie of that series is the apes get, you know, a new bio.
Planet.
No. They get injected with something which makes them more intelligent, right? And then in the second movie, it's literally the apocalypse with apes. Like, there's a huge time jump. Humanity is dead because of some disease, and the apes are like now the main apex predator of the planet.
Cool.
Which is like, what a time jump. That's so awesome. It's like apocalypse with apes. Awesome. and like the first movie is just an origin movie. I thought that was going to be this one, where it was like now Fallen Kingdom, as in the world is an animal kingdom and now it has fallen.
Yes.
And now the world is overruled by dinosaurs which have escaped from the Jurassic world, and now the whole world is Jurassic.
Yep.
And, like, you know, aptly named Jurassic World. Ha ha ha.
Very good.
Very good. And I thought, cool. It's going to be apocalypse with dinosaurs.
Yep.
I'd love to see that movie. But unfortunately, it was
Gonna have to wait until
gonna have to wait for the next
2021.
one, which is we assume is the actual Jurassic Planet or whatever they're gonna
I was
call
gonna
it.
say that it
Jurassic
should
Earth.
be called Jurassic World, Jurassic Planet.
Yeah, Jurassic Earth,
Which
or
is
something
so
like that.
dumb.
Yeah, but no, this movie was like, hey, instead of getting to the cool stuff, let's show you the bridge and what happens in between.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care.
Let's chill out on this little mansion for a little bit.
Yeah,
I
I think
discuss whether we're going to transport these dinosaurs or not.
I think a lot of people in the audience might have thought this too. Like, they thought, hey, it'd be so cool to see, you know, dinosaurs take over Earth or whatever. And what no one wanted to see, or what the studio thought people wanted to see, was like, oh, you guys really like the idea of Jurassic World. Oh, that's awesome. Let's show you what happened after. Let's show you Jurassic World again. Like, it's such a cool world we built, isn't it, guys? It's an amusement park. Let's show you what it's like when it's trashed. It's like, no one cares. Stupid
No.
studio producers.
That being said, this is just a very regular occurrence when it comes to trilogies or sequels.
Yep.
But I will say that the idea of there being some kind of apocalypse taking place with I was gonna say with the Jurassic creatures, but not all of them are Jurassic, are
No,
they?
actually, Scott, they're Mesozoic creatures.
Oh, someone's done his
And
research.
they live in the Cretaceous, Triassic, and Jurassic periods.
I'll say I'm looking at you from across the way, which I don't normally get to do. You're looking at your notepad here, but you weren't. It didn't look like you were reading from it just then. Do you have your phone underneath
No,
the table?
I don't. Hands up! I don't have.
Okay.
I don't have that.
Well, yeah. Well, I do think the idea of there being some kind of coexistence
Yeah.
between the two sounds fascinating. But that being said, the actions taking place in this film do not justify the fact that there is a cool sequel possible happening here.
Yeah.
The little girl shouldn't have let go of those dinosaurs. She just murdered literally hundreds of thousands of human beings.
I kind of hope the next one doesn't feature the Chris Pratt and what's the name duo.
Yeah.
I hope it's the little girl now grown up facing the consequences of her actions in killing half the world.
I like that, although, counterpoint, that'll never happen.
Yeah.
It's always going to be Chris Pratt here.
Yeah. Or Chris Pratt in old makeup.
That'd be good.
They'll think it works, but it won't.
Then they do some, like, Chris Pratt and Hammond, like, ooh, they're basically the same.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
I'm going to fire some quick fire thoughts at you.
Yeah, sure.
Actually, I only have one thought because I mentioned the other things. There was a stupid line in this movie. It's a very minor, but I just thought, that's so dumb. The military guy explaining one of the dinosaurs to, like, another person who kind of knows about dinosaurs, but I assume it was for exposition.
Yep.
He was saying, like, this guy, he's a shield for a back. Scientists describe the Ankylosaurus as a living tank. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
no, they don't. They don't. Scientists don't use your military hubjub. You stupid military dickhead.
Yeah. and during that little quote, it like really zoomed in on the face of the dinosaur that then went and it's like, look, it's living. It's a living tank. Look at it scream.
I got so mad at that I was like, right, I'm going to find out what scientists actually call an Ankylosaurus.
Oh, okay.
And I looked up like the scientific name. But do you know what? It's called the Ankylosaurus because apparently all the dinosaur names are actually the scientific names as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there's...
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Which
enough.
makes sense when you think about it. They're all very long words.
Of course.
Do you have any other thoughts on the film?
Yep.
Give me them.
I hate that nerd guy.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. This film was filled with cliches. Do go on.
There was, because I watched the trailers religiously beforehand,
Yeah.
there was actually not much to do with this kid. And at first I was like, oh, because they're not showing everything. It's good that they're like being like a little bit like they're like keeping their cards close to their chest. Yeah. But there was this one little shot of all the main characters running from right of screen to left. And this character was running particularly like goofy, like his legs were like flopping around, like, oh, look at me go, ooh. Yeah. And I'm like, I bet you this little guy is going to be a nerd tech geek, and he's going to be like doing little quips all through the movies.
Yeah.
The first 15 minutes was just him being like, oh no, I'm not too sure about this, guys. I'm a little bit scared about this one in total.
The moment you mentioned it to me and like pointed him out as like a Moss-like character from IT Crowd, but worse. The moment you mentioned it to me, like the cut to the next scene was like a close up of a spray bottle going, tss, 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 and it was like it was him like spraying the air, being like, "Does anyone want any bug spray?"
Yeah, bug spray for you. But and the fact that they
didn't come back.
No, he had nothing to do with the rest of the second half of the film.
No.
Like other than him just running from place to place with the other character. What's her name? Zia. Daniela Pineda. Who are these people?
I don't know.
Who are these characters is the thing. Even like the character names, like none of them really stuck with me.
No,
but
I didn't even know Claire's name. I had to look that up.
That little nerd kid, like I thought that the fact that they didn't show much of him in the trailer was because maybe he had a bigger role to play.
Okay.
No. He just wasn't interesting and not funny and also cliched, and also they showed everything in the trailer that they possibly could.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they had nothing to hide. They just had nothing to show in regards to that character.
They had in the first movie, they had the two scientist nerds who would sit in like the control room and talk, and it was I can't remember who the girl was, but it was Jake from New Girl, wasn't it?
Yes.
Jake? John?
His name is Jake Johnson, I think.
Johnson. Yeah, he's Nick from New Girl, right?
Yeah. You're right, it is Jake something.
Yeah, and he was in the first...
Jake Glykenhole, yeah.
No audiences, it's not Jake Glykenhole.
It is, it's Jake Johnson.
Yes.
Jake Johnson.
So he was in the first one. I thought, like, they would use him again as that character. Maybe they just replaced, like, because he's too good.
Maybe.
He's like, I don't want to do Jurassic Part 2, that's dumb.
Well, he was just in that Tag movie.
Yeah,
maybe they were filming at the same time.
Genuinely good, by the way, audience.
Is it?
Yep.
What does that have on Rotten Tomatoes? And counter question, what does New Girl in total have on Rotten Tomatoes?
Tag has 55% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is literally exactly correct.
Yeah,
yes.
I know it is. I'm really good. New Girl, I don't know, 88. I don't know. TV shows are weird because I don't really know how they work.
94
Okay.
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right.
7.7 on IMDb.
Right.
How does that work?
Because IMDb works like that.
That's right. That's right.
They
yeah.
use 6s or 7s.
We've talked about this a lot, haven't we?
Anyway.
We were talking about that Moss character. He's bad.
He's bad. The movie was full of cliches. I'm actually going to get to some of the cliches that made me think of pet peeves.
Oh, here's another cliche.
Go on.
Toby Jones playing an evil character.
Yeah.
We've talked about this on the show once before, but man, he's in every film.
As a bad guy.
Yeah, but like not even that. He must be. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like, here are the top 10 most richest actors in the world, and it would be like, here's Tom Cruise, and here's Ben Affleck after Batman or whatever, and then it's like Toby Jones, and everyone would be like, he doesn't have a defining role. No, but he's in every film. He's in literally every film.
He's a good villain though.
I like him.
Yeah, I do.
I like him. He's in Captain America. He's alright.
Oh, yes.
I just had to look him up. I was going to make fun of him because I was going to say what I don't like about him is that his name is spelled Tobey, which is the incorrect way of spelling Toby. It should just be a Y, but that's not the case. He's the correct way of spelling Toby.
The correct Toby.
He's done
As
it.
we'll now know him. Not the incorrect Toby Maguire.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire, exactly.
Yeah, the movie was filled with cliches, and I do have a couple pet peeves we can get to. What do you want to give the movie a score? Do you like it?
Yeah.
Like the movie? Give it a big old high distinction? Go on.
Pass.
Yeah, pass. I think.
I
agree
thought
with
the
you.
actions was good. I thought that the CGI is obviously the best we've ever seen in regards to a Jurassic film. There was some really cool shots. I like some ideas. I just wish that they weren't all in the trailers.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of some funny quips now. There were 2 funny quips, and they were both in the trailers.
Yep.
One of them was Chris Pratt saying, "Hey, if I don't come back, it's because you told me to do this."
Yeah.
That's funny. And then he walks away. He's like, "I'll be all right. Don't worry about it." That's funny.
Yeah.
And then later on, he's hanging out with the T-Rex.
Yep.
The T-Rex is sedated. The T-Rex moves his head. You're like, "Oh no, has Chris Pratt been squished?" And then Claire's like, "Are you okay, Chris Pratt?" And his little hand comes up out of the neck, and he's like, "I'm okay."
Yeah.
Funny. Both of those things were in the trailers. Both of
Yeah.
them. And also, one of my favourite little action pieces was that same same T-Rex scene where the T-Rex is like, "Oh, I want to eat you, Chris Pratt, but I can't quite reach you. I'm trying so hard to get you, but I can't.
Come a little closer. I don't want to be eaten.
And he's got his mouth open, like, "I'm gonna eat you," and then Chris Pratt like jumps through his mouth to like roll out. That was cool.
Yep.
In the trailer, first.
So the trailer's a fail.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well. I don't want to give it because I really, really, really liked the first one.
Right, yeah.
I wish that I got to see this 6 months ago when the first trailer came out.
Yeah.
If I got to see that first trailer, then go straight into the movie, I'd be like, hell yeah. But the fact that the last trailer was a recap of a film that we haven't seen yet,
Yeah.
that's bad.
Yeah. It was a plot synopsis.
Yeah,
And
but
it was saying, hey, here's all the things that happened. Why don't you go see it and fill in the gaps?
But it was only the first act.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Except for the auction bit. Except for showing the auction.
No, the first one never showed the auction.
No, I'm talking about
Oh,
the
the
last trailer.
second one.
The last
Yeah,
trailer was the first act and hints of Toby Jones is going to be selling some of these dinosaurs for a really, really low price. They're like, "Hey, I'll buy this literally prehistoric creature that no one's ever seen for the last 100 million years for $8 million.
Yeah.
No. This is like a $6 billion creature. All right?
Yeah.
Why are you accepting a $5 million price tag?
Yeah, anyway, it was a mediocre film with a shocking trailer. Second trailer. So that fails. I was just going to ask you, now that we've had a little discussion, dinosaur films?
Yep. Big on them.
Big on them? Not many though, are there?
No.
Do you know why?
Expensive.
Yeah. Hard to make convincing dinosaurs.
Yep.
You either got your animatronics, as they did it back in the day, which is very expensive.
Yep.
Or you've got VFX, which Also very expensive.
I think so. Yes, absolutely. I would love to see more dinosaur films.
I'd love a dinosaur horror film. Like, so watching some of the scenes where, like, they're in a house.
Yep.
Like a big spooky manor and
Little-
there's a
little-
dinosaur chasing them.
Little creepy claw, like
Yep.
about to like rip off like the blanket of the little girl that's like hiding. It's like,
Yep.
oh, I'm gonna eat you.
Yep. All the raptor scenes from, like, the earlier ones. Those
Yeah.
were scary because, like, it's a dinosaur that's going to kill you.
When they're hiding away in the kitchen and they have to like not hit the pots and pans. That's
Yeah.
great storytelling. That's
Yeah.
great visual storytelling. I want to see more dinosaur films.
I want to see a horror film series where the main character is a time traveler or
Yep.
a group of time travelers who go to various periods and encounter horrific scenarios.
That's happened before, Ollie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you seen The Land Before Time? You should watch that.
But yeah, good dinosaur films.
Yep.
Not common. I remember a Disney movie called just Dinosaur.
The animated one?
Yeah, it was animated.
Are you talking about like Meet the Tomlinsons or whatever it's called? Meet the Robinsons?
No, it wasn't a.
There was a
futuristic
dinosaur in that. There was. There was like a dinosaur.
No.
Yeah, there was.
No, I don't think so.
It was, and the little character has little spiky hair.
Yeah,
and,
no,
and
that's
the
a
whole
few-
point is
that's-
like, oh, I'm a little dinosaur, but my hands are so tiny.
But I thought that was a futuristic movie.
It is.
Huh, I don't know about that one.
Meet the Robinsons. I'm looking it up.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've seen it
Dinosaur.
actually.
Dinosaur scene. It exists.
Okay.
He's like, I've got big head, but a little tiny little hands.
So they must have travelled in time to go get a dinosaur or something along those lines.
I'm gonna play it right now for the podcast. This is a movie you need to see.
What's going on? Why aren't you seizing the boy?
Oh,
Stupid,
Is this blue?
that's
Is that blue?
a good bit actually.
I've got big head.
That was shocking animation, by the way.
Yeah, well, it was from like at least 2007.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, dinosaur films. Unfortunately, we don't get more of them. I'd love to see like an auteur take them on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You want a Christopher Nolan?
Yeah. Oh, imagine that, a Christopher Nolan dinosaur film.
I'd watch it.
That'd be great. A Christopher Nolan time travel film with dinosaurs, where they get the, prehistoric period and they can't, you can't get out.
And you go on the whole movie thinking they went back in time. Nuh-uh. They went forward in time.
Okay. Oh, no, bravo, Nolan.
Quick, get Nolan on the phone.
You've done it again, Nolan.
We need to copyright this.
They're actually on another planet.
Yes.
They're in a black hole.
Oh, great.
I love it already.
I know you do.
And so I have two notes. The first note was dinosaur films. The second note was Jurassic films.
Yep.
And that means cinematic universe for Jurassic Park.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Now I'm thinking, so in the, they'd had Jurassic Park and they changed the second word to world, right?
Yep.
But what if we have Cretaceous Park?
Okay.
Cretaceous world.
I'd like it.
Triassic Park.
Oh, here we go.
Triassic world.
You really
Hadean Park.
You really have done your research here.
Hadean world.
All right,
I sure have.
who's in the Hadean Park and Hadean?
That would be Amoeba.
Who you're at? Okay, great. Good.
When we crossed from sea to land.
Oh God.
But imagine, like,
Who are your actors?
I can't.
Chris Pratt.
I can't think of a
Chris
better
Pine.
better man for the job.
Yeah.
All the Chris's. And you know what I was thinking? Because what I'm thinking, like, I think it's genuinely possible they make an extended universe if the next few films do good, right?
Yeah.
I think it's genuinely possible where they don't necessarily take the dinosaur part, through the whole thing, but they take the whole we can clone things from the past.
Yeah.
And I reckon they'll make cavemen,
But what's the
Cavemen Park.
what would be the benefit of having cavemen?
But maybe
Because the benefit of having dinosaurs was a tourist attraction. Who wants to see a Neanderthal?
maybe they just do it as a test, and then the caveman, he has more abilities than we thought.
Hey, well, spoiler alert, Ollie.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for Fallen Kingdom.
Oh,
We've already got some human cloning, haven't we?
oh yes, we do. See, this is why I thought of it.
Yeah.
They cloned a little girl, and it was
It was genuinely surprising plot twist for me.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
What do you mean, somewhat? Did you really think?
I didn't
before-
think she was a clone. I never looked at her and said clone.
Yeah.
I looked at her and said, "There's something up with this child," because when she was in the first scene you see her, she's just like, they look up and they say, "Who's that little girl?" And they don't really see her. She's in silhouette and she runs away. It's like, and then they're like, "Oh, she's this daughter," and I was like, "That's suspicious."
Wait, do you mean Owen and Claire were saying, "Who's that little girl?"
Yeah, yeah, like she runs away and it's kind of like a horror movie. She's like,
I thought you were saying that the first time we see her, which was when she like scares that nanny, and she's like, "You're gonna actually stop my heart one day, girl." And the fact that the first thing she did was roar like a dinosaur, you're gonna make
right.
the assumption like, nah. I knew from day one. I knew from day one she was a dinosaur because she had a pretty convincing roar.
Yeah, she is a dino all the way through. She's
Yeah.
got lizard blood. And later in the film, we're going to get a whole thing where she needs to walk into a freezer and it's fine because she's cold blooded.
That would be
that's actually the opposite of cold blooded. But anyway,
You idiot. You idiot.
But yeah, we've got. I reckon we can have possible future thingos like that.
You know the person that plays that nerd? His real name is Justice. Justice Smith. No, I have nothing
I've
against
heard of
him.
Justice Smith. What else is he?
Well,
done?
I'll tell you right now. He's in The Get Down, which is on Netflix, which is all about hip hop.
Yes.
He's in. Oh, he's in Detective Pikachu,
Oh, interesting.
and also Paper Towns.
I see. We mentioned in the cinema. Hey, do you know that feeling, right? Where you learn a fact, right? Or you learn something that's... Okay, let's say you learn a cliche about movies. And you think, yeah, movies shouldn't do that anymore, right?
Yeah.
And then because, like, you make the assumption that, because you've thought never to do that if you were to ever make a film, right? You think, I'll never do that, and I assume no one else will because they now know about this cliche.
What? Sorry, I'm just... Look...
Yes.
I did hear what you said.
Yes.
That was for comedic effect. But when I said he's in Detective Pikachu, I thought it was in the game, which came out recently.
Yeah.
There is going to be a feature film based on that.
Yep.
Do you want to know the cast for this?
I kind of know the cast. It's got Ryan
Reynolds.
Yeah.
And some people I don't
That's
know.
going to be a very odd movie. It's
Catherine Newton.
the first live-action Pokemon movie, right? But it's going to be called Detective Pikachu. It's very strange, and do you know what? It's right up Nintendo's alley, isn't it? They do strange things.
They love their weird shit.
Yeah.
Bill Nighy is going to be in it.
Oh my god.
It doesn't say who he's going to play. I hope the villain. And also Rita Ora, who is a musician, as far as was a pop musician.
Oh, okay.
And some other names that I don't know, but that's a more stacked cast than I would have thought.
Yes.
The fact for a Detective Pikachu game, but a less stacked cast for a feature film Pokemon game movie. You know?
Very strange.
That's such odd. That's such a weird
I'm
tiptoeing the
so
line.
excited. It's live-action Pokemon, though. Get excited. I think it's live-action. Anyway, it's exciting nonetheless.
Did you know that there was that there was like some Kickstarter or fundraiser to get Danny DeVito to play Pikachu? I would have loved to have seen that.
I think there's a lot of Kickstarters to get Danny DeVito to play characters that are strange.
There is a character, well, there's a photo here on the set in which a character is in a full-on green morph suit.
Right. Pikachu? What is that? Who will that be?
That's clearly Articuno.
That's gonna be what's his name? The Macho Man, Machop or something.
Machop.
Yeah, I reckon.
All right, great.
Yeah.
That was a weird little. Sorry.
Side note.
I can't believe that movie's happening. I had no idea.
Wait, I was saying before.
Yeah.
I was saying before. Do you know when you learn of a cliche or you learn of something that's stupid that happens in movies and it's dumb, and
like the third time you've seen it when you're like, this is now a cliche.
Yeah, like
Is
this
that what
is
you mean?
bad, and I'm assuming most people know about this, right?
Yeah.
And then you make the mistake of assuming that other people in the industry are also learning this at the same time you are.
Right. Okay.
But then you mistake the fact that people actually learn these things. And one of those things that I've learned is that, there's a whole thing about if you just take a popular like an attractive person and put glasses on them, they're now a nerd character.
Yep.
And I assume I'll never see that again. Not much more.
Well,
Because
that was like
they won't do that anymore. They'll get genuinely, nerdy people to play nerdy people. Or they'll get, they won't make them too attractive that it's unbelievable.
That was at the peak of its little popularity in the 90s.
Yep.
Where it was always like rom-coms. It was like, this girl is ugly as hell. And then it's like, take off the glasses, and then it just basically cuts to some male character just going, floor! You know? Don't think you would see that in 2018.
You wouldn't, but they abused that twice with the two nerd, scientist characters in here, and they look completely attractive, and they're just wearing large glasses and saying really like scientific, but at the same time basic ass crap.
Yeah,
they're like,
that's right.
Oh, dinosaurs do this. Did you know? It's like I could have read that on a trivia card. Like this is it's not super scientific.
We were doing some research before the show, and we found out that Bronchosaurus is a thunder lizard.
Brachiosaurus is a thunder lizard.
That's right.
Yeah, it's called the thunder lizard.
You could have been that nerdy character with your dumb glasses on, you big nerd. You could have been Justice Smith playing Franklin Webb. There we go.
Anyway, would you like to hear some of my pet peeves? Which we can call this the pet peeve segment.
Well, no, before we get to
you
that.
Want to say something else
No,
about dinosaurs?
No, well, I like dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are cool.
Yep.
But, so, your rating system finished on a, what?
It was a pass as well.
Pass and
a fail for this Jurassic movie.
I'm doing the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pass and fail.
Pass and fail.
No good middle tier film.
Would have had a pass, or maybe even a credit for your first trailer, Jurassic World.
Yeah. And
then you screwed it up.
I almost would have given that first trailer a better score than the movie.
Yeah.
It was a decent trailer.
All right, give me your pet peeve.
All right, so there's some pet peeves I thought of during this film because, as we said, it was rifled with cliche characters, cliche situations, and cliche dialogue as well. My first pet peeve, and like, I don't know if this is something that annoys me, and I don't know if it's the same with you. Like when you think of a pet peeve, it might not be something that actually annoys you, but it's just something you notice so much.
Yeah.
And you think,
Well,
I've seen that everywhere.
Yeah, but then when I see it enough where when I see it again, I'm like, I've seen that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Like the whiteboard being wiped off.
Yes.
You know?
I always think of the whiteboard. Yeah. When I think of this segment.
It was the first one we did, and also the best. It's all been downhill from here.
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't notice, let's catch up on the greatest hit. And that was a scientific character has. Oh no, sorry. Someone needs to explain something, and they rub off.
Non-scientific character wipes off a scientific character's previous work.
Yeah, they just rub it off and start drawing their own stuff, and you think, oh, all that work for loss.
Yeah.
Anyway, my pet peeve for today, and I had to write it down because it's kind of a little bit convoluted. A character is introduced by responding to another character's question, even though not prompted, and then they introduce themselves. So they enter the scene talking, and it's kind of like, oh, who's this?
Yeah.
Who's this? Oh, it's this person. And then they say, blah, 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 blah. Hi. I'm John. And we have this with the old man in the wheelchair with this movie.
Oh, yes.
So Claire and it was the guy from Black Mirror. I'm not sure of his name. The young guy who was wanting to make a lot of money.
Oh, Lockwood. Okay. So at the start of the movie, Lockwood is pitching her the idea that she needs to go to the Jurassic World and save the dinosaurs, and he's saying something along the lines of, "We need to save these dinosaurs," and she's like, "It's been years. I don't understand those animals. We're going to need an expert." And then you just hear off screen, "I expect you would need an encyclopedia. Dinosaurs have, after all, been documented for over 100 years. So good to see you again, Claire. It's been too long." And it's like, it's him. Yes, there he is.
Who is it? I don't know.
Great man.
It's him. We clearly know this guy because he's entered the scene as if, ooh.
Wait, he knows the character that we know.
Yeah. It's like, what is your relation? Oh my god, who are you? And then it's like, hello, it's been so long. Yeah. And this, I don't have a lot of other examples, but I just know this happens in all kinds of films.
Yeah. It's like the It's like the next evolution of the James Bond
Yeah, right.
trope.
Yes,
where
it is. Yeah.
It's before that it was who are you, and then you don't just say the name. You got to be cool about it, you
Yeah.
know. But then the next evolution of that step is information, letting you know that I'm the ruler of this scene, and then hello,
Yeah.
it's me.
I was thinking this is just somewhat of a step up from, like, my example that I had here is a step up from saying, like, oh, you know, we don't understand these animals, we're going to need an expert. And then it's like, well, it's a good thing you have me. And then he comes in, he's like waltzing in, marching in with his hands flailing around.
Basically, it's just like, oh, we got to save all these dinosaurs, but I'm just not sure how to do it. And then he wheels himself in and goes, oh, I think that if you use this item and then you do this with the teleporter, then you'll be okay. And then he looks at the camera and he goes, oh, hello, I didn't see you there.
We've just explained all the tiers of, like, how bad it is to introduce Canada.
Hi.
That's the worst one, addressing the, oh, I didn't see you there. I had another little pet peeve from the movie, and this was something I kind of mentioned, or you mentioned to me before the show. The pet peeve was authority characters, or, you know, the authority in any situation when they're on a mission, always willing to let the over-eager character break safety precautions in light of emotional purposes.
Yes, this is a shared peeve for sure, because I did talk about this earlier. So the example here is the character Zia. They're driving in the Jeep. Oh my god, we're going to go to the park for the first time. It's going to be amazing. Oh no, the whole thing's a ruin. They're all running wild. And then they park the car, and then there's this big vibration, like boom. Oh my god, what could it possibly be? And she immediately just goes, I have to see this.
Yeah, right.
She's a scientist. She's very, very smart and very, very capable. She immediately unbuckles herself, opens up the back door, doesn't stop and say, oh, I'm going to peek out the side. This could be a Spinosaurus. This could be a Tyrannosaurus Rex. No. Very luckily, it happened to be a Brontosaurus or something.
Brachiosaurus,
Brachio. And then, but don't get out of the
And
car.
it's also like, she didn't ask anyone, she didn't say, oh, like, are we allowed to open this door? Is an alarm going to go off? Do you mind? Like, what's the protocol here? But the next part of the peeve that annoys me is the authority then gets out and is like, hey, don't go out there. And then he looks up and he is so in awe of the Brachiosaurus that he does nothing.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, well, I guess it's fine, and that safety precautions mean nothing. Let's throw away my whole life's work.
This is massive in a lot of films, but normally it's little children being overly excited.
Yeah.
And it's relatively forgiven because children legitimately act this way.
Yeah.
Not a fully capable and understandable scientist like Zia.
Yes.
No.
But yeah, those are just my two little peeves. I didn't prepare any other little
No, I thought those were really
examples.
good.
But yeah, I'm sure they happen in so many other films as well. We're talking a lot about dinosaurs today. Anything else you want to say about dinosaurs?
There are a couple of really good dinosaur games out on Steam at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Ark Survival Evolved.
Okay. Multiplayer game?
Yes, and it's got a lot of dinosaurs on it, and you can tame them, and you can collect up their poop.
All right.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You use it
It's
as
what I want in a
fertilizer.
game.
You use it as fertilizer.
For bombs.
Bombs as well. There are bombs.
Okay.
Poo bombs.
Yeah.
And there's a Pixark, which is the same thing. The other one's called
really?
Ark Survival Evolved, but this one is that game.
Pixark.
But is it like pixel? It like looks like
Oh,
Minecraft.
that's bad. That's bad.
It's coming to the Switch, baby. I don't know. What other cool dinosaur movies are there, or dinosaur-related topics we can discuss?
What's your favourite dinosaur?
What's my favorite dinosaur?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great question.
I have an answer.
Maybe a
I
Stegosaurus.
might need to look it up, though. A Stegosaurus.
I don't mind a steg. Stegs are relatively peaceful.
Yes.
I like the way that they look.
Herbivorous, are they?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I just love stegs. I'm a big steg man.
Steg's chicken from Coles. Frozen thigh fillets.
Hi, can I get 2 kilos of the steg, please?
And let me just I'm just googling my favorite dinosaur. It's a blue bird.
Stegosaurus from Greek stegos, which means roof, and saurus, which means lizard. I just feel like having a stego as a friend would be good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just want to munch on some, some nice ferns.
I mean, look at this image here. This is what a stego size comparatively looks compared to a human. You can just pat that on the neck, can't you?
Yeah, you can pat that.
You can be friends with a
So
steg.
you can confirm pat a stegosaurus.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I reckon a stego would love a neck scratch. What's happened to the end of this podcast?
I love that neck scratch. I can't remember what the dinosaur's called. Maybe a listener could tell me, but I doubt it.
Is it a triceratops?
I googled dinosaur bird blue starting with O. I know it starts with an O.
Oh, okay.
And I know it was kind of blue, and it was bird-like, but it might have been more of a raptor.
Is it like
but
a pterodactyl?
No, it's not a pterodactyl. It was a walking thing. But then
You just said bird. You said
I think it was,
bird.
well, it looks like a bird, but it walks.
Dodo. It's a dodo.
Well, what came up was cassowary.
Okay, can I please get some fan art of Oliver patting a cassowary?
And then me looking at the camera saying, my favourite dinosaur.
Yes. You can never leave that. That is always going to be a favourite dinosaur.
I don't have any other dinosaur-related things to say.
Nah, me neither. I'm done.
I'm ignorant of the dinosaurs, as I am ignorant of movies and seeing trailers and such. Ignorance is this. That's the podcast name.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Well,
I'm just tying it all up in it. Like, conclusion, you need to say everything you've already said,
Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Ignorance Is This. As always, you can get in contact with the show by heading over to our Gmail account and shooting us an email, asking us a question. We'll discuss it on the pod. Always. That is ignoranceisthispodcast@gmail.com. Or follow us on Twitter and send us a DM. Slip into our DMs, all.
Slip them in.
Twitter.com/ignorance.
It goes down in the
pod.
DM.
Ignorance is pod. And Facebook as well. Ignorance is this podcast. Give us a like. Comment on our shit. Be nice though,
Of course, if you have anything to say about Scott's ranking of Star Wars films, we're more than happy to take as many comments, criticisms as you can.
I will personally fight everyone who questions me. And follow us on Tumblr as well, which is ignorancesthispodcast.tumblr.com. Our good friend Eden, and is also the artist of the show, who posts all the quality art that you see on our Facebook and Twitters every week, is posting all the high quality shit onto the Tumblr account, and she's also posting her own thoughts on films that we don't discuss on the show. That's cool, isn't it, Ollie?
That's pretty cool.
So recently, she's calling it Artist's Corner, which I like a lot, and she just wrote a really long, like a relatively in-depth essay about a film called Colossal, which has Jason. How do you pronounce this guy's name? Sudeikis.
Oh yeah, Jason Sudeikis. I think
Jason Sudeikis, and Anne Hathaway.
Oh yeah.
So she
I've heard of it.
If you don't know what to think about, if you don't know if you want to watch it or not, go to the ignoranceisthispodcast.tumblr.com and read up on her thoughts, and maybe you'll be more inclined or less inclined to view the show.
Yes, because then maybe we'll discuss the movies further.
One day.
As we always like to end the podcast with a little haiku about the movie that we've seen this week.
Yep.
I have come prepared, as I often do.
Don't.
As I often am prepared with a haiku.
That's so funny, considering that you don't normally come prepared.
Shut up. Don't undermine me. Anyway, I've written a haiku about, what did we watch? Jurassic World. Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom Hearts 3.5 over 2 days.
And here it is. It's kind of a it's a plea. This one.
Yep.
And it goes like this. Make good dino films. What budget do we need for Tricero Top Gun?
That is good. That is really good. I like that a lot.
Thank you. I'm here every week.
And before, I will say, peek behind the curtain once again. You did finish writing that. I don't know what it is. And you throw your pen down. You've got your fingers all outstretched, and you're like, pretty proud of this one this week. Good night, Australia.
Night.
This was a Sin Media podcast.
Where young people run the show.
Okay, see you later. Bye-bye.